When we were at NAB, we were able to talk to a guy who told us that pretty much with the pinout that we have for, I'm just going to delete this, for the pinout from BlackMagic that we have, we can integrate into pretty much any analog system, okay? That sparked a little interest in my mind, and it has yet to be proven. We're going to find out tomorrow if my hopes and dreams are correct, and I'll explain a little more about that in a second. But you can basically cross cable into any analog system via Ethernet jack. Now, on the back of the BlackMagic Studio converters for the 6K camera line, there are Ethernet talkback ports, and online you can find on BlackMagic's website the pinout for those talkback ports, and you can create then transmit and receive, okay, positive, negative, transmit and receive ports that will allow you then to integrate those talkback ports into a system like this. On the back of this unit, as I was showing you earlier, let me re-pull that up here. On the back of the unit, there are inputs and outputs. Now, this is for the NX 4x4 because they don't have the radius unit on here anymore. But I have a 12x8 essentially. So let me load this picture and then share it with you. Okay, so I've got this 12x8 without the NX. And this is what it looks like on the back. It has the logical outputs, okay? And then it has analog line outputs here, and it has analog input mic and line inputs over here. So we've got channels 1, 2, 3, 4. That's in bank A. And then bank B is 5, 6, 7, 8. And then C is 9, 10, 11, and 12. All right, well, that coincides with what we see over here on this Radius 12x8. And this is bank A right here. So I have split out, there are two talkback ports on the BlackMagic Studio talkback Ethernet port. There are two. One is labeled production and one is labeled engineering. And all that is basically to say you have two separate channels. So what I've done is I've actually cut them out, and I don't know if this routing is true yet, but we will find out. What I've done is I have made them cams 1 and 2 left and right. So channel 1 is cam 1 left. Channel 2 is cam 2 left. Channel 3 is cam 1 right. And channel 4 is cam 2 right. So those channels then are mapped and connected via analog connectors, which I had here. They're Phoenix connectors. They were in a little baggie here on my desk, and then I cleaned my desk. And so you all know how that goes. You clean it off, and then you can't find the things. So they're little Phoenix connectors that connect into the back of the product, and I spliced out the Ethernet cables and ran positive to positive and negative to negative and so on and so forth. So I could be way wrong here, okay, the way that this is going to work. I could be totally off. My wiring might be totally backwards. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. But the theory is that you run positive and negative for all these channels. You plug them into the back of the unit, and then you can have talkback over the BlackMagic converters. And those channels are not necessary. I don't know how it works on the BlackMagic side. Like, how do you mute the microphone other than flipping it up, which is why it's nice to have that feature here on this product. I don't necessarily know how it's all going to work, but the idea is that we can integrate between analog and digital and make everybody on the same party line, which then you're like, well, John, why don't you just get a body pack and put them on there and then it's all Dante? Well, that kind of defeats the purpose of the one cable connection, which BlackMagic, I think, is doing fairly well, much like the NDI world. Remember how Bird Dog cameras are PoE, everything, all digital, all one cable. You just run an Ethernet cable to it. You plug it into a 4250. The camera turns on, and it all works. Same thing goes for the studio. The studio provides all the power to the camera down on the floor, so we just ran one Ethernet cable. Well, if I run a second Ethernet cable down there, it kind of defeats the purpose of the one cable installation, right? So what we want to do is be able to run the intercoms along parallel with the channels on this unit and everybody can hear and talk, and we can just plug in a headset to the